Hey there, college students. Professor Walters here, and today I'm answering a question that was sent to me from a student. And this is, Professor Walters, do professors grade unbiasedly towards students? And I will tell you, officially, yes, we do. Because honestly, when you have hundreds of students, you don't have time or energy to really focus and go after someone. And I think this is where a lot of students get upset, because they think professors are really focusing on them and trying to get them in trouble and ruin their lives. When in reality, the student is just kind of projecting the things they're doing wrong onto the professor. It's not the professor's fault you didn't study. It's not the professor's fault you didn't turn things in time. It's not the professor's fault that you didn't, compartmentalize and do your schedule better so you could fit things in. I mean, that's one of the things I see when a lot of students think that students are really picking on them. It's more that the student has put themselves in that position, not necessarily that the professor is being really biased against them, okay? So that's one thing I want to kind of get out of the way first. Because I know for me, myself, I'm completely unbiased when I grade because I use multiple choice exams. Look, if it's multiple choice, if it's choose your answer, there's a right answer and there's a wrong answer, and therefore you can't be biased because it's either right or wrong. And I think that's where some students get upset, because they feel, oh, you're really picking on me. I'm like, it's a multiple choice. Everyone had the same questions. That's the way it is. So I really feel that anytime it's a multiple choice, fill in the blank kind of thing, it can't be biased, okay? Where it could be biased if you have, essay exams, oral exams, those kind of things, because that takes a lot of subjective judgment, and that's where it's easier to see there could be some bias against people. Oh, it's how they're speaking, or it's, what the examples they're using, or how well they're speaking. I mean, I can see how that can go in there, and there could be some bias there. And I will say, in smaller classes, if a student has been disruptive and be problematic and being, a jerk or something, or being rude to other students, I could see for some professors it's a little bit harder, but I know for me, I can be completely objective. Like, I've had students that literally hate my guts. Like, have told me, I hate you, and they still do good in the class. Like, you can literally, the trolls on here say, I hate you, Professor Walters, you're a jerk, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, hey, you did the work in the class, you're gonna get the grade. Okay, so for me, I like to do my stuff unbiased no matter what. But the thing is, if you feel that you're being mistreated by your professor, a lot of universities and colleges have what are called a capricious grading committee, or something like that. Basically, it's a committee that will review situations where students feel that the professor unfairly targeted them. And having been on that committee, it does happen that sometimes professors have targeted students and things, and we've gone through there. And I've found that actually a lot of times that it becomes a very amicable solution. The student usually gets what they want, or the professor gets what they want. So that's kind of a nice thing that's there. But that's one thing I'd recommend to you. If you really feel like you're being targeted, have your case. Why is it? Why do you feel you're targeted? Give the examples. You're like, well, my friend wrote the same answer I did, and they got a 95, and I wrote the same thing, I got an 85. What's going on here? Like, that's something you could bring up. And that's why I say, if you feel like you are being targeted, don't be afraid to file a complaint with the capricious grading committee, because that's what they're there for. That's their job. And sometimes professors don't realize they're being biased, especially if it's one of these, like, I'm grading 35 essays in a row. Professors tend to grade a little bit harder at the beginning probably than at the end, because by the end they're like the 35th essay, they're like, oh. So I hope this helps you understand that in general, no, professors are not biased when they're trying to grade. They're very unbiased, but sometimes things do happen, and you do have a method to address that in your school. So good luck, and I hope it doesn't happen to you, but I wish you all the best. I'll say bye from here in Galway, Ireland. Great place to study abroad, by the way.